Hey guys, we're here with my nana today and we're going to do an interview. So I'll just start off with some questions for you. Can
Yep.
you tell the people what your name is, how old you are, and what year you were born?
My name's Carol. I was born in 1943, which makes me 80 years old.
And you just turned 80.
Just turned 80
Yep.
last month.
And how was your birthday party?
Awesome. Trump was good.
I was dressed as Trump, that's the joke, yeah.
No, it was a good night. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I've got 10 questions I'm going to ask you today, and because I'm a bit lazy, I got AI to give me the questions.
You're cheating like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I said I'm going to interview my nana who's 80 years old, and I wanted 10 good questions which would be good to ask about her life. So here we go with the first question. Early memories is what it said. What are your earliest memories, and what was it like growing up during World War II? I know
World War Two.
you were technically born during World War II, but
Yeah,
you
but I
probably
was
don't
only a
remember.
baby.
You were only 2, so...
I can remember searchlights.
Oh, yeah.
I can remember that. And I was lucky I had my granddad live with us. They never had old age pension homes then. Families looked after the old people then. They never had like superannuation or anything like that. They just had a little bit of money each week, a pension, but not
Okay.
enough to live on and survive yourself.
So it couldn't be like here where you can
No,
actually pay the
couldn't
rent for your own flat.
couldn't do that at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I had 3 parents. I had mum, dad and my grandfather, because he was always there. He was there when I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And so
Yes.
that was your mum's?
My mum's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you said you remember searchlights. It's just
Yeah, that
shining
was
up
near
in
the end of the war.
Yeah.
We did have blackouts, but I can't remember. I would have only been too young to remember that, but I do remember searchlights.
Do you remember if there was any rationing or anything, or was that...
They had ration cards,
Oh, yeah.
ration books, but I don't remember that because I didn't have to do shopping.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll move on to question number 2, which the AI has said family life. Tell me about your parents and your siblings. What were they like? And what are your some of your fondest memories spending time with them?
I was lucky that mum stayed home, dad worked, he'd come home, give mum the pay packet, and if he needed any pocket money, he'd go and ask mum. Mum actually would take on little part-time jobs just to get out into the community, and, you know, she just had a few little part-time jobs, but she didn't have to have them. And then I had a sister, then a brother and sister. There was a big gap between, and I was more or less on the verge of leaving home then when they come into the world. Had lovely family holidays each year, all together. It was more of a family unit than what families are like today.
Oh, yeah.
So very family orientated.
What do you mean by that? Is that like all
We
of
did
the...
things together as a family.
Like the extended family too, or...
Yeah, well, just the immediate family.
Oh, yeah.
Just us, you know, parents and siblings. And everything we did as a family. Today, they don't have that family unit like we used to have in our day. We used to play in the streets, play cricket on the road, because there wasn't hardly any traffic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. And you said that your mum got to manage all the finances. Was that normal back then for the woman to manage finances?
Usually then, mothers didn't have to go to work like they do today. I mean, you know, my mum and dad, they bought their home.
Mm-hmm.
They, mum wasn't forced to go to work. She stayed home, looked after us kids, always there for us. Always there when we got home from school. Did all the cooking, mending, budgeting, shopping, everything really. And Dad just worked hard.
Yeah, sounds like a lot different to how things are done today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, much more different.
Number 3 is titled School Days. So, what was school like for you? What were your favourite subjects? And did you have a favourite teacher?
I had one favourite teacher when I was at primary school. Me and another girl, we were the class pets, and we could sit and draw all day and not have to do any work.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, I enjoyed school. I loved sport. I was a champion girl runner at primary school.
Oh, yeah, nice.
School teachers were good. I remember having the strap a few times.
The strap?
Yeah.
What's that?
The strap. Put your hand out, whack, whack, whack.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, of course it hurt.
Okay. They didn't go easy on you because you're a kid?
It wasn't, they weren't, it wasn't bad. It was
Yeah.
just, you didn't you didn't have welts up on your hand or anything, like just a few red marks. That was all. Wasn't that bad. But it kept us in line, and we were well disciplined, and we respected our teachers.
Yeah, definitely. Was there like an age range? Like, did you have to be above a certain age to start
I
getting
had
the
to
strap?
start school at 5.
Yeah. So could you get
Not
the
in the
strap
tiny.
at 5? Or?
No.
No?
It's when we were in the standards, when we should have had more common sense to know how to behave.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I only had the strap a couple of times for just disrupting the class or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would anyone not get the strap ever? Were there kids who were good enough to never get the
Oh,
strap?
yeah, the goody-goodies that sit there and did their work and did what they were told. Yeah, I was a little bit rebellious when I was at school.
Okay.
I was a tomboy, used to beat up the boys, but,
You used to beat up boys.
Well, I had to protect my sister. If anyone picked on my sister, well, I'd give them a hiding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what got you into trouble?
Yeah, but that was out of school.
Oh, yeah. I see. And, sorry, what was your favourite subject? Do you remember? Was it sports?
Art and sport.
Oh, yeah.
I love sport, yeah.
Okay.
We're sports orientated. My dad was a wrestler. So he wanted me to be a wrestler because I was first born, I was a girl. And he used to teach me wrestling holds. And yeah, he wanted me to be a wrestler. But then he had a son later on, so then he became a wrestler.
Yeah, I think that's interesting about your dad. So he was a wrestler, but from what I heard, he was on TV or something?
He only started off at amateur.
Yeah.
Then he turned professional, and he used to be on the mat. Then he became trainer, and he used to go away with his teams, being the trainer, and they used to travel around, and yeah, till he retired from it. Got too old to do it.
Yeah, and I think On the Mat was a TV show that was on...
Yeah, they used to have it at Town Hall. They didn't have TV then. It was all live. And,
live on radio? Or...
they recorded it. It was recorded, and you could Google it probably and research it and get some old, videos of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could pull up some footage of On the Mat.
Yeah, you probably could, but I never found any of my father. But
Oh, yeah.
some of the, well-known wrestlers.
On the mat tonight, so let's cut to where the action is. Right there, it's centering.
Well, we're just about to the end of this bout, and there's some action aplenty there. There's no doubt about that. Kid Hardy wrestling very well indeed and very impressively. Oh, he's thrown him out of the ring.
Ooh, that's not allowed, that's not on.
Dopey Hardy falls over the top rope, and we get disqualified.
One time there, because at the beginning of the wrestling, they'd be told, right, you're the villain and you're the good boy kind of thing. One night, Dad was the villain, and he was coming out of the town hall, and this old lady came up and whacked him around the head with a handbag.
So people got into it then?
They really got into it. I took my boyfriend along once, and I just caused up such a run because he wouldn't take me anymore because I was yahooing and leave my father alone. So I'm not bringing you anymore.
Crack up.
Yeah.
I'll go to the next section, which is about meeting your spouse. I guess you could have a couple options here, but it says, how did you meet your husband, and what was your first date like?
Well, we used to have on a Sunday, we used to have youth clubs, and we'd have dancing, play table tennis, and it was a social thing. And that's where I met my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And the first date was a rock and roll jamboree at Town Hall.
Okay.
And then it progressed from there.
So a rock and roll jamboree, would that be like a dance?
Yeah, it was a dance.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Town Hall used to be packed. That was the old Town Hall.
Yeah.
And we just rock and roll all night. It would start about 8 o'clock and finish about 11:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, these days people go to Courtney Place to the clubs and it's like all, you know, there's actual bars that you go to. So back then you didn't have those. You'd have to go to like a town hall and it would be an event.
But no alcohol.
And no alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, there was
isn't it?
no. I can't recall any fights breaking out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone was more, well behaved and in control, and and they used to be they used to have them every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember roughly what year that was? I'm guessing
I was
50
about
something.
14,
Okay.
15.
So maybe like
So add that on to 1943.
43, be like
50,
58,
Yeah.
1958.
about 1958.
So well into the rock and roll era. That's like the
Right
50s,
into the rock and roll, Elvis and Bill Haley and the Comets and
Yeah.
yeah.
Did they have a live band play or was it like records?
We used to have shows of live bands.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have some overseas artists would come over, but that was later on. Those weren't actual dancers.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did have live bands. Yeah, they did. Just the local live bands, no big ones. Just local. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That
Yeah,
would have been
but
interesting.
that-
You don't have that anymore. Like no one has a dance with like
No.
a band. It's
And the
all
good rock and
DJs.
rollers, everyone would encircle them because I must admit that my husband and I, we were good rock and rollers.
Yeah.
And any couple that was good at it, then the whole crowd would gather around and circle them and clap and it's quite good.
Cool.
Yeah.
The next section is about parenting and raising your children. What was it like raising your children? What were some of your most cherished moments as a mother?
I enjoyed being a mum, having young babies. We had a lot of support from Plunkett Nurse. She used to come to the home and help young mums. It was hard but easy at the same time because, my eldest son was born deaf, so he was hard work.
Mm.
Had German measles with him when I was pregnant, and it was the first epidemic of rubella.
Mm-hmm.
So he was born deaf. No, I enjoyed bringing my kids up. Yeah.
Any particular memories you have that you're fond of when they were little?
I just enjoyed them. We'd have bath time and bedtime, reading stories, and got a lot of good memories. Got bad memories as well if they played up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Cool. The next one is called significant life events. So, what are some of the most significant events in your life? What challenges have you overcome? And what lessons have you learned?
Oh my God. I think back. I enjoyed my sport a lot. When I was at college, I was selected for the women's Wellington indoor basketball team, and we used to travel around, go up north.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that. Played baseball when I was at school. We'd have Saturday morning baseball. But I enjoyed our family holidays. We'd go away every year. Mum and Dad would save, or Mum would do the saving and Dad would bring the money in for our family holiday each year to Rotorua.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did that every year. And I remember how that started was Dad won money at the races on a double. And the money he won, he got our first family car.
Oh yeah. Do you remember what sort of car it was?
Yeah, because I had to learn to drive it to get my licence.
Oh yeah.
It was a Ford Prefect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Were they made in New Zealand?
Ford.
Yeah. or?
They had a factory. They used to have a factory in Batoni, I think,
Oh yeah.
around Gracefield, Ford Motors. Actually, my husband worked there on the assembly line.
Mhm.
Yeah, when we moved out to Stokes Valley. Hard cars to drive, very sensitive on the clutch.
Yeah.
They used to jerk and jolt, but I got my licence anyway.
Yeah.
And Dad made me get my licence so I could help out with the driving when we went to Rotorua.
Yeah.
And I'd get as far as about Levin, and then I'd had enough, then he had to drive the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it quite hard work driving back then? Because you had no like cruise control.
Well, we had the indicators with the little lever, and the stick would come up on the side of the car.
Oh yeah.
We didn't have blinker lights then, it was just a little stick that would come up, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be left on the left hand side, and if you're going right, well, the stick would come up on the right hand side of the car, and that's indicate when you're turning.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, so you didn't actually have a light.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you learned to drive? Because it's interesting. I'm.
15, had to be 15 to get my licence.
Oh yeah. So
Dad
you're-
started teaching me when I was about 14 and a half, nearly 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he took me all around Wellington, up Major Bank Street and all the hard streets
Yeah.
through to Wellington City, and yeah. And I got it first pop.
Oh, nice job. I think they made it harder these days, but to get
Well,
the
it was pretty
license.
hard then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was all right. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, you got it when you were 15. I'm
Yeah.
29 and I
I
still
know.
can't drive.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But you're saving money, aren't you?
saving money, but also not everyone in my generation drives. Like I think my cousin Amy, I'm not sure if she drives either.
Yeah, well, she's been doing a lot of travelling, hasn't she?
Yeah,
And overseas and stuff. She might do that when she gets back.
yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like a bit more common to for people not to drive as much these days, especially in Wellington.
Yeah, I think you use your public transport and the scooters.
Yeah. This one was about significant life events, but I also wanted to ask, like, recently we've had the COVID pandemic and there's like the war in Ukraine. We had like 9/11 when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was wondering what sort of events like that in your life do you remember being a big deal?
Okay, the big deal was the first satellite that they put up, and I think that was the Sputnik.
Oh yeah.
Russians.
Yeah.
I think they put the first, because we all would get outside. We'd have the newspaper come out, and it would give the time, where to look, and we'd all sit outside. I think just about everyone did.
Everyone.
It was a big event
Yeah.
to
So,
sit outside and watch for the Sputnik to go over.
yeah, and everyone saw it?
Yeah, you could. It was just like the space station when you look at the space station.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
everyone, almost all around New Zealand, maybe the world,
Yeah.
was all looking for this
Yeah.
satellite to
Yeah.
go past. Wow.
I think it was the Sputnik. I'm pretty sure that was the first.
That was the
one.
first satellite. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Russia, I think, beat the Yanks
Yeah.
to get their first satellite up.
Interesting.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, then later on, first man on the moon.
Mhm.
Just trying to think of what else was significant.
For landing on the moon, how did you follow that? Was that like
Uh,
over the radio
I think
or
it was TV.
TV?
TV, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Another big event, well, that was later, not in my childhood, though. It was Wahine Day, when the Wahine went, listed, big storm.
Yeah.
That was another, but I was married then.
Yeah, so that
not
was-
really in my childhood.
That was like a ship that crashed in Wellington where we
Well,
live.
it was a big storm.
Yeah.
And it went onto the rocks. Went on the rocks. And then it started listing, and quite a lot of, I can't remember how many lives I lost. My uncle actually, I think he was an engineer on it, and he helped save a few people. But he said he was, he's had some horrible experiences in the water when, don't want to get too more, but a few dead bodies are floating around him,
yeah.
and he didn't like that very much.
Yeah. No, it sounds pretty freaky.
Very freaky.
Yeah. I'll move on to number 7,
Right.
which is career and accomplishments. Tell me about your work experiences and accomplishments. What are you most proud of?
Well, I took on like shorthand typing, bookkeeping at college, but I wanted to get out and work and earn money, so I left when I turned 15, but I went back to what you call night school.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to night school to carry on with my shorthand and typing. And then I just worked until I got married and had started a family, and I went back into the workforce later on. But at one stage I took on a correspondence course at home and sat and got my school C English.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for me that was an achievement because I never went to university or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think back then, like nowadays, probably half of people who graduate high school go to university, but from what I know...
Well, we had apprenticeships, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was less common to go to university back in the day. Yeah.
Not many of my friends went to university. A lot went into apprenticeships, like hairdressing, modelling. Just trying to think of what the girls did. And the guys, when they did mechanics, builders and all that. So it was mainly apprenticeships more than university back then.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is about travel and adventures. What are some of the most memorable trips or vacations that you've taken, and what places have you always wanted to visit?
Well, my first overseas trip was Australia, where I went to Sydney. Then we caught a bus from Sydney to Melbourne. That was a long trip on the bus. I think we left at 2:30 in the afternoon and we got into Melbourne at 6:30 the next morning. That was my first trip overseas. Then I did a few more other places over in Australia.
Yeah.
Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Queensland, Perth later on. But my biggest, then I did a cruise. We flew to Sydney, and we left from Sydney, went to Vanuatu, New Caledonia, and around the islands. And then a big trip to the States, then the UK, London, up to Scotland, and then over to Canada.
And when you first went to Australia, what sort of time was that? Was that like...
That would have been in 1979.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't have passports then.
Didn't have a passport?
No, didn't need passports then.
Did you have like an ID that you had to show, or...?
Well, I can't remember, but I know you're very limited in how much cash you could take. Okay. And you're very limited in what you could bring back. Just a bit, you had to go through customs and everything, and you couldn't bring back much. There was a lot of limitations to travel over there then.
Do you know why they didn't want you to bring much cash? Was that like...
Don't know.
Was that...
Didn't want to take... I don't really know. I think such a, didn't have much spending money at all.
Okay.
But I had a friend over there, and he lent me Australian dollars, and because he used to come back over to New Zealand on holiday, and then I paid him back when he came back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit extra money to spend, more so than if I was just limited to what I could take.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it sounds a lot different to these days, where you can just take your Visa card and just go crazy.
Very different.
Yeah.
You couldn't do much shopping.
Yeah. Oh no, that's one of the best bits.
Yeah.
Were there any countries that you really wanted to go to that you'd still go if you had the opportunity, or have you been to all the places that you wanted to go to?
Oh, there's lots of places I'd like to go to.
What's in the top sort of one or two?
Alaska.
Alaska. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Alaska. I'd like to do a cruise around there.
Just for like the nature and
the nature.
Yeah.
Different climate. I don't know. It's just got an attraction for me.
Mm-hmm.
Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt would be interesting. I haven't been there.
Yeah. Anywhere really.
Yeah.
Except China.
Oh, not interested in China?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Any reason why, or?
Oh, well, just don't want to.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
Russia, don't really want to go.
At the moment, it's probably a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Probably there's a few countries there I wouldn't want to go to.
Yeah, definitely. North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 9 is about hopes and dreams. What are your hopes and dreams for the future? What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
At 80 years of age, you don't have a lot of hopes and dreams.
Maybe just for like the rest of us. I don't know.
I'd like to see my grandchildren achieve their hopes and dreams, because I suppose I live my life through what my grandchildren do now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you do, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've more or less achieved everything. I'm saving up to go on another trip next year to Rarotonga. And stay in good health.
Stay in good health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. And keep mobile.
Yeah. What about that? I know you're interested in like technology and space. Do you have any thoughts on what we're going to do with
there's
that?
one thing, this might sound crazy, but there's one thing I'd like to witness before I go.
Yep.
Is to see a UFO.
A UFO. What about?
Well, that's, what is it called now? Aerial
I think UAP.
UAP.
Yeah, it's the new term.
Yeah.
But you might have seen that
There's just something.
on the videos they've released.
Yeah, but I want to see it in real life.
Like
not
the
on
actual
video.
guy, the alien.
No.
No,
How do you know they're real?
I don't. They could be. I'm not sure.
I have to witness it myself to believe it.
Oh, so you have to see it with your own eyes.
I have seen a meteorite.
Okay.
Must have been a meteorite when I was coming back from Perth, and I saw this thing in the distance coming along, and it had a big long tail and it was very bright, and it went past the plane and then off into the distance.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw it out the porthole of the plane. Yeah,
Do you think it could have been an alien? Or
No.
No. Okay.
No, would have been a fireball or a meteorite.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's a weird hope to see a UFO with your own eyes, but I hope
Yeah.
it happens. But I hope they're not
A friendly
invading.
one.
A friendly alien. Yeah.
Well, there's so much talk about it now, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of, I see a lot of stuff on TV, and I just like to witness it, just to know whether or not we're alone in the universe.
Yeah, that's true. Be
Yeah.
good to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last question is about advice for future generations. What advice would you give to your grandchildren, I guess to me, and future generations? And what are the most important values you want to pass on?
I think the most important values to pass on is old values.
Old values.
Definitely. Yeah, there's just not enough respect with people. Kids today don't show the respect that we used to show for our elders, school teachers. No, it's a completely different generation today.
Mm. And so some of those old values are about like respecting your elders, any
Morals.
morals.
Just what we were taught when we were young. I'm not religious, but 10 Commandments, you know.
Can't go wrong
Always
with those.
tell the truth if you can. We all tell little white lies. But treat other people how you would like to be treated yourself.
Yeah. No, that always makes sense.
Probably a lot more. I just can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah, no.
I'll probably thinking later on, I wish I had said this or I wish I had said that. But
Totally.
yeah.
No, last opportunity. Any other general advice you'd want to give to people?
Just appreciate your family, appreciate your loved ones, appreciate your friends. Give them a helping hand. I like going out in the community and helping people. I get a lot from that, because maybe one day you're going to need that help. Just give, you know. Yeah.
Cool. No, I think that's a good note to end it on. Thank you for this interview. I think it'll be really interesting for people, and well, you can watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can I censor it or?
I don't know if we'll give you that opportunity, but
No,
maybe
it'll be fine.
I'll let you watch it, and if there's anything you want to cut out, I might
Okay,
let you.
yeah, okay. That'll
But-
be fine. Okay.
Maybe end it on a cuddle.
Oh, big hug, Kimber.
Cool.
Love you.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys found this interesting. And yeah, see you later.
Bye.